I'm Obrien, Department of Educational Studies and Research, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about the other side of the coin, the pedagogy coin. The other side could be student success, right? Sometimes we don't always see it that way, but that's the assumption I'm going to start with. I've come up with my own title for this talk. It's called, It's 12 Weeks in the Semester. Do you know where your students are? And I think part of what we're trying to talk about today is finding a way to figure out what your students are doing and how that links to what you're doing. My first slide comes from Gary Larson, The Far Side. And I'm going to start with the question. Nick, what's going on in this slide? What time is it?
10 o'clock.
Okay. Georgiana, what else is going on in here? Okay. Eric, what subject matter are we dealing with?
Probably history.
Well, Eric's a historian. And that he says that even though this book says algebra. He's still teaching history. Mark, what else? What else is going on here? Go ahead. Good, well done. Okay, I think one of the tricks is not to be Mr. Osborne. So we're talking again about ways that we might be able to gain a sense of what the previous speaker, David Wells, called continuous assessment, continuous feedback. Wells has come a long way since his time with the New York Yankees, hasn't he? He's really... One of the ways I like to think about connecting with students is to think about the trajectory of the semester. And I think one way to think about trajectory is to think about what you're thinking about your courses and about your teaching on day one. And then at the end of week one. And then at the end of a month, at the midterm, at the end of the semester. And how do you think about your teaching over that 16-week period? With a partner, with the person next to you, and no, not the person next to you. You can only talk to the person next to you if you don't know them. But what I'd like you to do is turn to someone you don't know. You're allowed to move. And talk a little bit about that trajectory. We'll give you about a minute to chat it over, and then we'll open it up to see what came of this. Okay, so find somebody you don't know and talk about where you are right now, 2 days away from day one, with regard to your trajectory.
We're running a little long.
Oh, okay.
If you could just,
I'll go quick. How much? 10 minutes?
I don't know. Take what you need. Just don't drag it on.
Okay.
We can skip the next break if we have to.
Okay. I can get it probably done in 20 minutes. You want me to do it in 15?
If you can.
Okay.
But if you need 20, take it.
Okay.
But we got a 10-minute break that we can skip, and we're about 10 minutes behind.
Okay. I can get it done in about 15 minutes. Mary, Karen. Okay, folks. Okay. Does this thing work? Hello, hello. Lights. Okay, folks, hold up. Thank you. Very great participation. Great job there. Well done. Karen, Karen, what did your partner tell you about where he is on day one? Well, you what were you guys talking about?
We might have failed this assignment.
Okay. Rebecca, well, we won't take that away from you. Go ahead, Rebecca, what were you talking about? What did your partner tell you, your temporary partner?
He was telling me that where we are right now
Yeah.
is to stay a couple chapters ahead of
Okay. Okay.
for specific subjects.
Good. Good. How about your partner? Song.
Matt explained to me that in the day one, the first expectation is to outline the courses and tell them our expectation and what they should do.
Okay. Good. Good.
And
Good.
the video is just
Good. Well done. How about your students? Where are they on day one? What are they thinking of? Are they outlining the chapters? What? What's your name? Let me see what your name is.
Jeff.
Jeff. Let Jeff speak, please.
I just said that my students normally seem to be scared out of their minds on the first day.
Okay. Fear. Certainly the freshmen, right? They're scared. They're worried about those 60 hours of studying that we just heard about, right? Yes.
They're hoping we're going to let them out early.
That's right. Yes.
They want to know if all the tests are all multiple choice questions.
Okay, good. Good. What else are they doing? I mean, right now you're assuming that they're thinking about the course, right? Go ahead.
In music, they're looking for us to prove ourselves to them.
As musicians, as accomplished musicians. Great. And have you pulled, are you ready to meet that challenge?
I got several degrees, so I hope so.
Yes, sir.
Are you a good grader?
Are you a good grader? Like an easy grader? Okay. Well, how about, you're doing a wonderful job about thinking about the course.
They might be on Facebook.
They might be on Facebook.
Where's the building or the thing they're lost?
Right, right. Where's, maybe not the library, but where's my dorm room? That kind of thing. And who's going to be my, who am I going to hang around with on Friday night, right? So we see that perhaps they're thinking about different things. And so the question is, this is a slide that comes from the Olympics, you know, how much synchronization is going on there, right? Lots of times professors hit the ground running. They can do the whole course, they can do the first 2 weeks, they're focused on the course. And the students may or may not be focused on the course until week 3, week 5. And so right when you're planning your research trip at the end of the semester, or you've gotten money from the provost to go to Washington, D.C. and get some funding, the students are beginning to think about the course the way that you've thought about it in week 1, in week 2. Okay? So are you synchronized with them? Not my best slide. Traditionally, we get connected with students at the end of the term. And it happens through an annual, a course evaluation. We get that evaluation. It's used in the annual review process, which I'm sure you've heard about. It's used during the pre-tenure and the tenure review process. And that has, you know, almost every university has one of these, and college has one of these types of evaluation. The problem when it comes to student success and the other side of the coin, effective pedagogy, is that it comes too late to put to use that semester. Now, maybe you can put it to use in a future semester. It doesn't necessarily uncover student misunderstandings until, you know, the cow has left the barn. It doesn't necessarily address student frustration or your frustration. And it's high stakes. It's too little, too late, but high stakes. Now, I do like this slide, by the way. This is the way we used to do end of the semester student evaluations when I started 20 years ago. We've updated, right? Since then, so there's the question is, what are some of the possible solutions for this, to address this? And I've got the rest of my slides deal with possible solutions. But I'd rather you spend 2 minutes talking to somebody else, stay on topic now, about what you could do other than waiting for the final evaluation of the course, okay? What you might try, okay? And then we'll just yell out those answers, and then I'll show you the rest of my slides, and we'll be done, okay? So, so go ahead, get with somebody you don't know. What are some ways that you can get student feedback? I'm going to call on you, Omar. I'm going to call on you. Okay, folks. Okay, solutions. What are some of the keys to alleviating this disconnect? Omar.
What we were talking about is doing it continuously, not just after a test, but like after each session we would go over a summary, or before the next lecture or whatever the next week, we'll give them a test to see if how they're progressing.
Oh, good, good. Some folks call that previews and reviews, right? Give a preview of what's to come and a review of what's just happened. Allison.
We just talked about various ways to get feedback from the students before the final evaluation, so midterm evaluations or scheduling individual meetings with all the students. Or Ken mentioned that he often will not give them the grade on a paper and make them read the feedback and then come to him for the grade,
Okay.
which allows for a meeting and some feedback earlier on.
Good, good. And you have in your possession now on tan paper an example of a midterm evaluation that could help you make some adjustments in the last 8 weeks, right? If you plan to use it. I mean, again, these are suggestions. As we learned in the first presentation, learning is a very individual activity. Teaching is a group activity. Learning is an individual activity. So you'll have to make some professional judgments yourself as to what to use to gather feedback from students. Amy in the back. What did you come up with?
We mainly talk about being accessible via email, text, in-person office hours, after class, and
Good, good. Hold office hours and be there. Wow. What a concept. Sure.
Actually, another thing I do, which I found pretty effective, is I have a coffee hour instead of a regular office hour, and I do it at Starbucks or whatever, and anybody can come and then come in groups, and it's less formal and not as intimidating.
Excellent. Yeah.
I also use online technology management systems in traditional classrooms and create chat forums.
Yeah.
They can talk with each other, and you can manipulate them to where they're anonymous. And so the students who don't feel comfortable being completely open with one another or with the instructor can politely and in a nice way say, this is where I am with this assignment, or where we are in the course, or where I
Great.
can understand the readings. And that way, all the students can view that and have access to it, but it's also done in a way where they're not standing up in front of the class, or they don't feel comfortable coming to me and saying, this is where I am, or so on.
Super, super. Let's take one more from, your name is, no, with the glasses.
Oh, okay.
Why don't you tell us how you would alleviate this, address this?
My class is very odd, since...
So is mine.
Well, I mean, I choose my repertoire, and since I'm a conductor, so my class is totally, and my review is, every 4 weeks I have a concert.
Right.
And everybody sees what we've learned.
And throughout the build up to the concert, what happens with somebody who's playing the piece wrong on the flute section?
Class and ask my professors to get together
Yeah.
with students and
Okay,
But, I hear them play, so I can determine what's necessary to happen.
great. And do you talk to them directly when it doesn't sound right?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Do you carry a big stick when you do that? Well, you guys already took all my answers. And I think one of the things that's going on here is that the knowledge to be successful with students is something that you already have. Maybe one way to think about it is to start sharing it with your peers. You can see right here we've got a wealth of knowledge already. We've talked about, well, here I am dealing with email, but you're talking about Blackboard. And, get feedback in class, the preview and the review that Omar talked about. Office hours. Amy in the back talked about office hours and being available for office hours, right? And knowing people's names, it makes a difference. It makes a difference when you know their name when they're in class. The real trick is, can you know their name when they're in some other context? That's always been the trick for me. And then call them by their names, right, Gordon? See? Previews and reviews. Previews and reviews. Here's one that I think is quite important. Lots of times when you're teaching, you're thinking about what you're doing. And if you can try to spend some of the time that you're teaching in the heads of your students, you'll have a much better sense of what they're up to and ways that you can perhaps enhance the learning process. This goes to a comment I think that Ken made, and it's the idea of getting feedback. When I started teaching a long time ago, a guy from chemistry won the teaching award. And he used to use what he called exit slips. And he in those days, 3x5 index cards were very fashionable. And students had exit slips, 3x5 index cards, and he'd stop class about 2 minutes before it ended, and they'd write down what they didn't understand. He would rifle through those at the end of each class, and he'd program the lesson to address those questions before he got into the inert gases or whatever was the next topic. So exit slips is an idea. The midterm evaluation. Making adjustments. One place that faculty and students can disconnect is when the syllabus changes and how to communicate how the syllabus changes. And when you change your syllabus, you do it for good reason. I think it's always a great idea to have students make that change in writing in class, or to hand out another schedule that updates the syllabus. And again, when appropriate, mix it up. Be a moving target. Eventually, Billy came to dread his father's lectures over all other forms of punishment. And finally, when a problem arises and you don't know your way out of it, you've got colleagues, you've got friends, and we've all been through challenges with students before, so keep that in mind. Thank you.